So this was a good debate, a good discussion, not aimed at concrete decisions, but really to learn from him, to get his insights. And again, we were all really very happy that he was there and was willing to do this.
Okay, to the gentleman over there, please.
Euronews, Georgia. Sir, it is alleged that Russian hybrid actions had effect on Georgia's election and also in Moldova. And could you share your opinion regarding to this subject? And what do you think? How can NATO counter these Russian hybrid attacks, which aims also NATO countries and also neighbors and partners of NATO?
No, clearly we condemn every interference in the free elections in NATO countries. We're also very worried, of course, of what happened in Moldova. We are very happy about the outcome, that still the election was taking place. Clearly there was interference, but at the same time the Moldovan authorities were able to conduct the elections in line with their democratic principles. On Georgia, of course, our worry, of course, is on what is happening in Georgia itself. We are really following the events. We very much encourage Georgia to come back and go back on its path of Euro-Atlantic integration with the European Union, with NATO. But we are really worried and following the events taking place in Georgia. And when it comes to election interference from anyone, that is unacceptable.
Okay, one question. The gentleman to the right, please, with the blue scarf, and then ANP after that. Thank you. Go ahead. Please introduce yourself before you ask a question.
Secretary General, good morning. Finlay Duncan from DW. You're concerned? How concerned are you about what's happening in South Korea at the moment, a key Indo-Pacific ally for NATO? Well,
obviously we are following events. South Korea is part of our Indo-Pacific partnership. South Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and that means that we are very much interested in how this will develop. But I'm not going to comment on internal South Korean on the internal South Korean situation.
Okay, ANP.
South Korea again, leading a democratic alliance, isn't it necessary to condemn undemocratic behavior from an ally, an important ally like South Korea?
Yes, of course, they are not part of NATO, but they are a very important friend of us. We work very closely together in the partnership, together also with Japan, Australia and New Zealand, and that means that we are following step by step and from moment to moment what is happening. But at this moment I do not want to comment. Let's first see how the Koreans are able to cope with this situation, and if necessary there might be further comments later.
Okay, thank you very much. The lady with the red scarf.
Laura Costa from ARD. How concerned are you that the political chaos in South Korea might be beneficial to China to actually bring even more instability to the region?
Again, what we know is what you know and what we see on television. We are really following the events in the Republic of Korea and South Korea step by step, and we are very much interested in how this will evolve further. I don't want to comment now because the Koreans are themselves at this moment trying to stabilize the situation. And if necessary, you will hear more from me, but you can be assured that for us that relationship with South Korea is key. Our relationship is ironclad. Together with Japan, Australia, New Zealand, that will not change.
Okay, we'll take one last question. Lady on the left, yeah, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Secretary General. Руслана Брянська, Громадське радіо Київ. Ukraine Minister Andriy Sybiha said the Ukraine needs to protect 19 strategic energy facilities, yes, and needs the same number of air defense systems. Was the supply of these systems discussed at the NATO-Ukraine Council, and maybe there were any decisions on this issue? Thank you.
No, this was absolutely discussed. As you know, we try to do everything we can to help Ukraine in making sure they can fight back what the Russians are doing with their full onslaught on Ukraine unprovoked, and at the same time we have to make sure that whatever air defense we can give them is being supplied to Ukraine. This is happening over the last 2.5 years. All the first 1,000 days of this awful full onslaught of Russia, we have been able to provide many air defense systems into Ukraine. And now there is a specific need on the energy infrastructure, because what Russia is trying to do is to weaponize galvanize winter again in this fight against Ukraine. So this was discussed last night. As you know, in the world we do not have a sort of overflow of supply of air defense systems, so that means that you always have to make sure that you prioritize. But there was a clear agreement on the table last night that to help Ukraine, particularly with its infrastructure, has to be a priority. And I'm confident that allies will follow up in the coming days and weeks in making sure that whatever they can supply to Ukraine will be supplied.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See you
you.
later at the post-ministerial press conference.
Yeah.
Pues esa es la fotografía, sobre todo en la tensión de Corea del Sur, donde no ha querido entrar Rutte, donde no ha querido plantear ninguna cuestión alrededor de cómo podría responder la OTAN. Ha dicho, bueno, lo están arreglando, lo están estabilizando, es la palabra que ha utilizado, lo están estabilizando, y a partir de ahí veremos. Si tengo que decir algo más ya diré, ha dicho Rutte, y ha dicho también que la clave fundamental está en toda la región, no solo en Corea del Sur, también en Japón. Como le he dicho antes, si hay dos piezas que son el rey y la reina, y no sabemos en qué orden, son Corea del Sur y Japón, aunque el rey parece Japón. Pero en esa pieza, en ese tablero de ajedrez, esas son las dos piezas clave. Por eso las preguntas tan insistentes a un Rutte en el que, que debía mantenerse un poquito con un pasito atrás hasta que Estados Unidos, sobre todo, estabilice o vea cómo está la situación y ya vea cómo tiene que ir de la mano de Estados Unidos. Estabilización es la palabra ahora mismo, pero no ha descartado. Ha dicho, si tengo que decir algo más, no se preocupen, que lo diré. Es decir, si esto se complica, si va a peor, pues entraré a hablar, entraré a decir, entraré a comentar. Pero ahora mismo parecía que no era el momento. Esas son las primeras palabras de Rutte en el día, no van a ser las últimas. En las claves del día, volviendo a ellas...